Most beginners try to copy what pro violinists do without understanding what actually makes it work. After playing the violin for 30 years and teaching hundreds of adult beginners, it seems the biggest breakthroughs come not from adding more, but putting things in the right order. Today, I will show you the exact steps you should take as a beginner, and how to practice them like a pro. And the first thing you will need is a right violin posture. The first thing is that you want to make sure that you are really straight, and then you want to bring the violin here to your neck. Then you will turn your head left and put your chin on the chin rest. Here the mistake is that most beginners instead do this. And this is extremely unstable for the violin. The second thing is that you want to learn with a shoulder rest. Of course, it is possible to play without a shoulder rest, but it's way more difficult. Every time we had beginners play without shoulder rest, they took way more time to learn the violin. But you need to put it the right way on the violin. So for that it means that you want to make sure that your shoulder rest is on the upper part of your violin, very close to your neck and not here. Because the goal of the shoulder rest is just to fill the void between your head and your shoulder. After you put it, you should feel that here the violin is stable and not moving anymore. And that you could hold it without your hands and without pressing a lot here. Now the next point is to start practicing in pizzicato. Most beginners make the mistake of starting way too soon with the bow. First, you want to make sure that your violin is stable and that you can play basic rhythm without the bow. For playing pizzicato the right way, you want to put your thumb here, that will really stabilize your hand, and then pulling the string really far apart, here. That will allow you to have a beautiful sound. And you want to do that with the flesh of the finger and not with the nails. Then a good start is to do the most basic rhythm. The first one is just a quarter note, like that. When you play basically one note per beat. At the same time as you start doing that, you want to learn reading the notes. It will allow you later on to play anything you wish to play, without relying on someone else. This is, for example, how quarter notes are written on the violin. Let me play it again. Then you should start learning eighth note at the same time. And that's being written this way, with a line connecting multiple notes together. The difference is that now we'll play two notes per beat. Ta, 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 ta. Like that. Then you want to train half note. You have one half note every 2 beats, like this. 2, 2. And it's being written this way. And then you just want to have fun combining different rhythm on different strings. Like for example this one. Now the next big step will be to start with the bow. And at this point, we don't want to start with the left hand at the same time, we want to let that for later on. And by the way, if you're an adult beginner that want to learn to play the violin beautifully, we are organizing a free violin masterclass at the Violinacademy. You will find the link below this video. So first, let us see some bow basics. You want to hold the bow in front of you with your left hand, and then keeping your right hand relaxed in front of you, like that. And that's actually the bow hold you will have later. Then you want to put the bow in your hand, with the thumb coming here, between the leather part, and the third finger coming in front of the thumb. Then you will put your index finger on top of the bow, but not the first joint or the last one, the middle one, like that. Your ring finger here, not too high, a little bit low, and then the little finger here. Most beginners make the mistake of stretching the finger too much, like that, or holding the finger too tightly together, like that. We want to keep a few millimeters between each finger And more importantly, we really want to feel that the hand is flexible. Then you will put the bow on the string. Start by putting it really in the middle. That means not too close to the bridge and not too close to the fingerboard. Just in the middle. Then you want to make sure that you don't press too much. Most beginners are too tense, and because of that, when they start a note, it always sounds like this. It just means that you are pressing too much on the string. Just relax everything and play a note, aiming for a free sound. Now the next one to master is a straight bow. The problem with most beginners is that the bow will change position the whole time between the bridge and the fingerboard. And because of that, it doesn't sound good. Instead, what you want to do is keep the bow at all time straight. That means parallel to the bridge. With the aim of having the bow always stay on the same contact point on the string. The best way to practice that is easy. Just look at yourself in a mirror to see if your bow is straight, and then play some note very slowly, focusing on keeping on this same line. Now, even if your bow is straight, if you are holding the bow too tense, it will sound bad. To relax your bow hold, you want to leave the bow on the string and then trying to feel what's happening in your hand. Trying to feel where the tension are. After you feel a tension in some part, just hold the bow very gently and then focus first on finding this very soft sound. And you want to have the feeling that you are holding something very light that you don't want to break, like a very small bird. Now, if you want to have a beautiful sound, you need to master the 3 factors of sound, and especially finding the right contact point. What it means is that when you play, if you are too close to the bridge, it will start whistling. And on the opposite, if you are playing too close to the fingerboard, it will start to scratch. So when playing, you want to start experimenting with finding where it sounds best. Just by always repeating the same note at different contact points. In the middle, closer to the bridge, closer to the fingerboard, finding what sounds best for you. So now you will be ready to start with the left hand. The question is, where should you start? Most beginners start with way too much and way too soon. What you want to do is start with only one single string, instead of directly trying to learn every single string with the left hand. At the same time, you really want to start with only the first and the second fingers until you master them before starting learning the third finger or the fourth finger. But the most important point when starting with the left hand is adopting the pro posture and pro principle. For that, you want to make sure that you are holding the violin from below. That means doing some sort of V with your hand and then lifting your violin with it. In opposite, what most beginners do is holding the violin by pressing it sidely with the thumb and the index finger. And the problem with that is that it completely blocks the hand and later on make it impossible to learn the vibrato or shifting. And it's very hard to change later on. Then you want to make sure that your finger stays close to the string. Most beginners hold the finger like that. And the problem is that later on, when they need to play the fourth finger, they can't because it's too far away. Instead, what you want to do is hold all your fingers approximately 10 millimeters above the string at all times, but in a very relaxed way. You want to check too that your wrist is aligned with your hand and your arm, that you are not holding the violin like this or like that. It should just be a straight line. And from behind it looks like that. Now, you just need to learn how to play every note perfectly by ear. The main problem here is that most beginners rely instead on stickers on the fingerboard to know where the note is, or just using a tuning device. You should really avoid both, because the only way to play the violin beautifully is to play every note by ear. And I can really tell you that it doesn't matter how talented you are or how old you may be. We had hundreds of students, and I can tell you that everyone can learn to play by ear. And the easiest way to do that is to listen to recordings of the exercise you want to play or play with them. And then you want to automate your left hand. We'll do that by playing the same exercise in different rhythms, starting from the slowest one, going to the fastest one. For example, we could just play on the D string, the D open string, and then the E first finger on the same string, repeating those two notes in half note, quarter note, eighth note. Then you should be able to start your first real piece. Here, what's important that most beginners don't respect is that you should play only pieces that have the same technical challenges that you already mastered on the violin. That means that if you just learned only to play on the D string with the first and the second finger, then you should play first only pieces with the first and the second finger. That will allow you not to take any bad habits and to play those pieces beautifully. Enjoy!